Again, we let go into the body. Letting go into the body should become something automatic. You don't need to think about it. You should not be needing to think about it. Just the way of existing. And that is the right way of existing. The only true way. It is a natural surrender. If you need to practice it, so there's an effort involved. There's an intention, and there is an expectation to reach certain benefit from that practice. And it's all okay. But ultimately, it's not a practice. In a similar way as surrender is not a practice. It's a way of existing in accordance with truth. And it is the most comfortable way of existing. Freedom itself. When you surrender to your body, you simply come to the right place in yourself, where everything came back where it's supposed to be. So as long as you are forgetting to surrender to your body, as long as there's an effort in your surrender, you need to look inside yourself and ask yourself what it is that creates that duality between you and your true existence, which is surrender, which is being in your body. What separates you from yourself? And what pulls you out from your body? Well, the obvious answer would be the mind. Or even consciousness can be conditioned in such a way that it is trying to dominate your experience of yourself. the consciousness in your head, that is. So, if you keep forgetting, if you keep moving out of your body, if there's a resistance to surrender, and part of that resistance is connected to the fact that the mind is controlling you too much, meaning the mind is resisting. Mind as your sense of self identified with the mind, seeking security and control through your mind is resisting. You need to see these things, that resistance and that whatever obstructs your surrender into the body, you need to see it. Because if you don't see it, you'll be just practicing and practicing and forgetting and practicing. And you see, there is a practice and there's a surrender. And that the deeper surrender is not a practice. It is something much more. Surrender in terms of, like trying to reach into the absolute, passing through the portal to absence as we used to speak of it. Now, I suspect I'll be speaking of it a bit differently. But surrender of that sort there's a practice involved, because you want to reach certain state, you want to pass through certain door. But surrender into the body is not the same. It's just letting go. There's no penetrative surrender here. There's just letting go into your body. Of course, I am assuming here I speak to mature people, because, average person cannot do it, because they do not have emanating intelligence, they do not have consciousness. There's no an actual bridge between the person and the body, which will allow such entry into the body to take place. So in their case, it will be, the teaching would have to be extremely basic, or starting from let's say, from consciousness, not from the body. So I'm not saying that surrender to the body is something easily available to everyone, because it is not. But it should be for you. Meaning, you can surrender, but the fact that you can surrender does not mean that you are surrendering, or you are willing to surrender. Because you are not just surrendering because you are being told to surrender. You need to see. You need to recognize the value of it, the truth of it. You need to recognize the truth from within your body of that surrender, that confirmation of the importance of that surrender. So it's not just about surrendering and getting to the right place, but awakening to the truth of surrender to the body. Because are you really seeing the truth of it? Or you think, oh, just some new practice in the teaching? If you really saw the truth of it, you would be amazed. Because it is so profound, and on top of it, it's actually so fundamental and so simple, or so fundamentally simple, so obvious that you may even ask yourself, where have you been all your life, separated from your body? So it's not really practice, even though there is still a progression happening, and that progression relates to stabilization of the state of surrender and deepening of it. And it's also connected to your how much you have access to the absolute, because absolute is holding you in the body. As you are being held in the absolutes, so then you are being held in the body. If there's no absolute, your surrender into the body will fluctuate. And there's also the mastery of emanating intelligence. It is the one which enters there. But it's not a practice, it's something else. It's awakening itself. Surrender of the body. It's not a new subject. I spoke of it. I began to speak of it several years ago. And you may wonder what's the difference between now and then. Well, there is a difference. Surrender of the body was about putting the body in the absolute state. And indeed, pure subjectivity was entering the body, but in a more superficial way. Now you are not, well, surrendering the body is still part of it, because you are letting go from the body into the absolute. But the main emphasis is to surrender into the body, to enter your body. So it's another layer of reality in respect to your physical form that is being revealed. And only through surrender into the body you can awaken your spiritual body, which is your eternal body. And only through awakening of the spiritual body you can become whole, as a soul. Often a question is asked, what is really the soul, whether it is, the heart or the person. And perhaps it is a wrong question. It's not about what is the soul, but what is the soul supposed to become in order to become complete. The main center of the soul is the person, but the person is very limited initially. So the experience of the soulfulness in the person is close to none. This is why connecting to a feeling center like in the heart can give people more a sense of a soul, because at least it is experienced beyond the mind, affected by mind, but experienced beyond the mind. The soul is multi-layered. It has many different parts that needs to be actualized. Otherwise, she cannot really be herself. To be herself, she must become a complete being. And for that, she needs to realize the spiritual body. So when you surrender to your body, you can feel many things there, but overall, what you are feeling is the spiritual body. It's as simple as that. It coexists with the physical body, but it is deeper. So like now, are you more in your body or in your head? Are you experiencing your body from the body, or are you experiencing your body from your head? If there is here a conflict, or your head is still controlling your body too much, there's only one way to resolve it. Let go deeper into your body. Let go with exhalation and fully surrender. So that recognition is being transferred into your body. that consciousness will be recognizing itself from inside the body. Initially, it may feel strange or unusual because we are so used to controlling our space from the head. And there's this resistance from the mind, which is not used to giving away its control. It's habitual, it's obsessive, or it's compulsive. That's why the mind has to surrender. Has to learn how to surrender. Has to let go of its control. It's not that difficult, but needs to be done. You need to enter that pure space where the mind is completely it's not there. And if the mind is activated, it performs its natural activities, which are supposed to be done in the mind, and that is not in conflict with surrender to the body. Reaching unification between your head and the rest of your body is also part of that process. And the ultimate harmonization of these two. And the initial step to assure it's happening is to have really bigger weight of identity in your body than in your head. At least for time being, you are renouncing your head. It is so real. When you are surrendered to your body, you become real. You know, when you meet someone, well, theoretically, perhaps another student, that there's more likelihood for that is in a state of surrender to the body, and you look at that person, they are real. It's a real person there, real soul. It's that surrender to the body actually completes your spiritual awakening. This is what it is. If you are disconnected from your body, or, well, when you are disconnected from your body, you are simply ignorant. But if you are not fully surrendered to your body, you're just very much incomplete. Which is okay, and it's important to identify it, because if you, what you don't identify, you cannot change. But then you need to change, and the change is beautiful. It's not a practice. It's deeper than practice. It's surrender. It's pure surrender to your body, and it's so beautiful. You're just letting go, falling into your body. Becoming absorbed in your body. It is time for you to incarnate. This is what it is. Because we have not incarnated yet. No one has. This dimension is strange because we assume that people and other creatures incarnated, but they have not. It is actually a place in between life and death, or death and life, between afterlife and life, between, I don't know what to call it, ghost realm and living realm. It's in between. It's a bardo plane. And we need to transit. We need to complete our incarnation. That's our purpose. One of the main purposes, the most important one, to incarnate. So can you incarnate?